Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Jack Shaw up against Ricky Simón this weekend. Jack, you're absolutely smashing it. Good opponent for you as well. I saw some people saying, what on earth is Jack Shaw doing on the prelims, or what is this fight doing on the prelims? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it either. But, I think me and Ricky is obviously on paper a barn burner, and all likelihood is going to be contender for fight of the night. So I don't know why we're on the prelims. You have to take that one up with the UFC. I'm not going to sit here and say that we deserve spots over other people on the card because, I've got too much respect for everyone else in the profession to try and put anyone else down. But yeah, don't know. Speak to the UFC on that one.
Do you think it's a tactical one? If you put a guy like you or a fight like this lower down, it's going to want to make people tune in from the outset?
I don't know, mate. It's a daytime card, so the people in the UK and stuff like that will be watching wherever I am on the card. There's also a card in London next week that people would have been happy to watch me on. So I'm not sure what the logic is. Who knows? Could be that, but it don't make a lot of sense.
What was the background behind this fight? Was it a case of if you fought here, you could fight Ricky Simón, who's, number 13, or fight someone unranked in London? Because I know, of course, a lot of fans would have want to see you fight on that card.
Yeah, I mean, there was no real back and forth as such. I expressed a bit of interest online. Ricky expressed a bit of interest. He sounded like he was game to come to London as well. Sent to my manager, said, look, it looks like we're both game. Let's get this up. And they came to us with this date. I did ask why London, but they said, they want to build you in the US a little bit. So, but it wasn't a case of fight Ricky in America or someone else in London. It was a case of, you're fighting Ricky on this date.
And do you reckon that this is your time now? This is something special happening because, breaking into the top 15 is massive. You got undefeated streak, you're beating people and you're a former Cage Warriors champion. Do you think it's your time when you're kind of about to blow up a little bit in the US?
Yeah, I like to think so. I mean, obviously, providing I get a good performance on Saturday, it would make sense. But look, I'm at a stage in my career now where I've had that many fights and I'm against the best in the world. Stuff like that doesn't really, bother me too much. I get paid really well on my new contract. I'm in a position where I'm on the verge of setting up a life that I could never have dreamed of, and putting me and my family, in a really good spot. So whether I blow up or become a celebrity or an internet star or whatever, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I got the personality for that. I'm quite quiet and keep myself to myself. But what I do like to sort of pride myself on is when I do fight, I try and make it entertaining, and I'm always game to fight the best guys, and I think the fans do appreciate that. So, if I can pull out a big finish on the weekend, I don't see why not.
Do you feel an element of kind of camaraderie with the other fighters from Britain? I know a lot of you with Graham, a lot of Cage Warriors alumni. Do you feel like you're kind of creating a wave together, or is it more of an individual thing?
Yeah, there's obviously certain fighters who I'm more like friendly with than others that I want to see do well, But yeah, it's a real buzz around UK MMA at the minute. Everyone seems to be doing really well. Obviously you got people like Paddy, Molly, big Tom Aspinall now looks like he's going to go on the verge to fight for a belt. Leon's fighting for a belt. I know Darren Till has obviously pulled out injured, but he was on the verge of being back in the mix. It's a great time to be a part of it. And, it's nice to see everyone get behind each other and support each other. And, I wish everyone well from the UK. The better UK MMA does us, and all the more shows we get to have over in the UK. So, it's a great time to be a part of it. And I look forward to obviously watching them get the job done next week and Leon in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Without giving away, the game plan or anything, how do you see yourself getting the job done against Ricky? Where do you see yourself as stronger?
I think, to be honest, I think I'm strong in all areas. I know he's a very good wrestler. He's explosive with his strikes, but I think the reason I beat a lot of these guys is because of my fight IQ. I know how I can think and adapt on the spot. So I'm just going to go out there and fight my fight, put him on the back foot and just stay away from his strengths and play towards mine. If all goes well, I think it'll be a hell of a fight. It'd be nice to put him away and get a finish. But I've said that for the last two, and they've gone to decision. So, I'd be happy to take him out in a round, or if I got to go 3 rounds and grind it out, I'll do that as well, as long as I come away with a win.
You were finishing people left, right, and center in Cage Warriors. How much do you notice the step up in competition in the UFC? I mean, you fought a guy like Timur Valiev. He's tough as nails, right? How much have you noticed that standard in recent years?
Yeah, there's obviously a big, there's definitely a step, but there's even a step up from, your first 2 or 3 UFC fights in comparison to the guys who are on the verge of ranked or who are ranked. So there's definitely a step up. These are world-class guys. I keep saying to people, it's the Premier League of MMA. It's the best organization with the best fighters. So it's just one of them. Like look at Valia. I couldn't have done any more to finish him. 99% of people would have gone away. It's just sometimes you get them out of there, sometimes you don't. But the step up is evident. To say that Cage Warrior, as good as Cage Warriors is, to say that there's not a level change between there and the UFC, there obviously is. But what I will say is by coming up through the IMAF and amateurs, and obviously coming up through Cage Warriors, fighting the best guys I could at all time, is nothing new to me. Fighting these better guys every single time. I'm not used to I'm not used to stepping up in class and stepping up in level of competition. It's something I thrive off, and I think I'm one of them guys, to be honest. The better the opponent, the better I'll perform. That's how my mind works. That's how I tend to fight. If you put me in there with a world-class guy, I can show you I'm world-class. So, yeah.
What did you make of the jiggling around of the rankings? I think it was only yesterday. We've got Simone dropped 2 spots. O'Malley went up. Frankie Edgar went up, which is a bit of a strange one. What did you make of that?
To be honest, I didn't even know about it till someone just told me just now that Simone's dropped. But I mean, it is right. I don't look too much into the rankings, to be honest. I just know that if you keep fighting ranked guys and winning, then obviously you can start push towards the title. But I think the rankings these days don't mean too much to too many people. Obviously, by being ranked, you position yourself to get the big fights. So that's the main benefit to it. But all the moving about and jiggling about, it is what it is. If I win on Saturday, I may move up a couple of spots. I may move up one. There's plenty of fights in the division the next couple of weeks. So I think there'll be a lot of jumping around, I'm sure, in the weeks to come. But yeah, I don't pay too much attention to it.
This is arguably the best division in the world. There's so many killer fights out there. One fight that kind of some of your fans I've seen talk about is the Sean O'Malley fight. Do you think that'll be a fun one for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think any fight in the division is a fun one. Me and Sean will be a good clash of styles, good clash of personalities as well, I think. I don't know what's happening with him, whether they're going to run it back with Pedro or, judging that he's moving up the rankings, maybe they're going to look to give him a top 10 guy. But I'm always there. I'm always game. I'll fight anyone, and I do like his style. I like his style of fighting, and I made big for a fun fight. But as with the other guys in the division as well. But obviously, everyone. I don't want to sound like one of these guys that's crying out for the Sean fight, because technically it is the money fight in our division. It gets his name out there, so we're nice for that reason to be the guy to steal a bit of the limelight. But again, let's focus on Ricky, get through him, and we'll see what opportunities are out there after that. You're
27, so you're arguably in your prime, or even going to get better and better. When you started watching this sport, were you watching Dominick Cruz? Were you watching Jose Aldo? Does a part of you want to fight those guys before they hang them up?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the fights that I would like to push for. Your Frankie Edgars, your Dominick Cruzes, your Aldos, your TJ Dillashaw's. They're the guys I grew up watching. Do you know what I mean? When I was 16, 17, just started fighting myself, and these are guys that I was fans of, and come wait for their fights to come around to watch. So it'd be an honor to obviously jump in the cage, and it'd be a cracking chapter in the book, a cracking story to tell the grandkids that I grew up watching these guys win titles, and then at 27 or 28 years of age, I'm standing opposite them in the octagon. So yeah, 100%. They're the type of guys I'd love to. Not to sound like I'm trying to fight the guys who are on the verge of retiring, but I'd love to get at least a fight in with one of them, just to say like I fought a legend of the game. For you, this game can lead to anything, right? What's your ultimate plan? Do you just want to make enough money to have the quiet life and get the glory, or it can lead to starring in films? I've seen you got a podcast. Do you enjoy that side of the game? Like, what do you fancy doing later on? Yeah, I do enjoy that side of the game. The podcasting, the commentary, the analysis, stuff like that. I've done the BT show with Nick Pete and the guys. I enjoy all of that. I'm a fan of the sport first before I was anything else, and I've got a good eye for things. I've got a good brain for the sport. And I do think I see things that a lot of people don't see. I think that's why so many people like my podcast, is because when I start breaking down fights, I sort of identify things that people may not necessarily see, or an untrained eye may not see. I'd love to retire into the valleys and live a quiet life, but I also wouldn't mind. I don't know if I'm destined to be a movie star, mind you, but maybe a famous podcaster, or so, even a bit of commentary. You see guys like Felder and Cruz and Bisping, they're all killing it now with the commentary. So I could even see me going into something like that, down the line. But as long as I got enough to look after my fans, so I'm going to go and work a 9 to 5, then I'll be happy.
Is the belt the biggest goal for you? What's the biggest goal in the sport? And are you happy as a bantamweight? Is this where we're going to see you for the kind of the next few years?
Yeah, there's a couple of goals. There's many things I'd like to do. Obviously, the belt, I think that's everyone's dream. But it'd be great to bring a UFC card to Wales. It'd be great to go down. Ultimately, legacy and stuff like that means more to me than fame and belts. And to when I hang the gloves up, if people look at me and say, you know what, that's the best Welsh MMA fight that we've ever had, then that would mean an hell of a lot. That's something that people wouldn't be able to take away from me, something that I could take to the grave. So stuff like that is what means to it. Because I've won titles and achieved belts in traditional stuff, and ultimately, in years to come, you don't necessarily look back on the belt. You look back on the memories and what the fight meant to you. And like fighting when I won the Cage Warriors belt, I don't so much look back and think, yes, I won the belt. I look back and think, I was the first Welsh guy to sell out an arena in Wales. And I don't mean like the first Welsh guy to headline an arena, but I mean like sell it out, pack it to the 5,000 fans, not a space seat in the house. I was the main reason the Cage Warriors wanted to go bigger and better in Wales. I was the first Welsh guy to win the IMAF European, stuff like that. It's not so much the titles, it's the things that you do that sort of, because people will come behind you and win belts. There's people behind me now that have won the Cage Warriors belt. Just like if I win the UFC belt, there will be people who come and win it again. Whereas stuff like that, look, he was the first guy to bring a stadium show to Wales, or he was the first guy to bring the UFC to Wales, or he was the first Welsh guy to main event the UFC card. That's ultimately stuff for me that down in history, and that's the stuff I tend to chase.
Love it. Well, you're on your way, mate. You're already smashing it. It's great to see.
We're trying.
Nice one. Yeah, I spoke to Rafa Fiziev the other day, and he said it's about the money and the glory. If you just get the money, it's not really enough. And if you just go for the glory, it's an interesting one to see how different fighters.
Yeah, exactly that. Look, we got to get paid as well. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough game. We are fighting at the elite level. If we weren't getting paid enough to sort of set myself up for life, then I don't think it would really be worth doing. I love the sport, I love the lifestyle, but it's tough on the body, and it's not a sport you can do for a long time. So whilst we're in here, I think we do deserve to get paid. And like you said, I think Rafael's got it bang on. You got to chase both at the end of the day. Floyd Mayweather said it best, is legacy and fighting certain guys is not going to pay for my kids to go to college, but money will. So as much as you want to chase the legacy, the money's got to be there as well. But more often than not, they do go hand in hand. You start putting yourself in a position for these legacy fights or these main events, your title fights, bringing shows to Wales, then the money starts to get better as well.
Bang on. Well, here's to another bonus anyway, and another victory. Maximum respect.
Yeah,
Cheers, Jack.
Let's hope so.
Nice one. I appreciate it.